Good afternoon from sunny New York. I am Brother Cavs and welcome to our live stream. This is officially our second live stream. The first one got, there were some minor errors. We started the live stream and continued it all the way in a completely portrait mode. So what we had to do was delete the live stream, download it, delete it, rotate it, and premiered it. So yesterday, if any of you guys followed along, or if you didn't, now you know. We had our very first premiere where we walked towards Cunningham Park and just spoke a little bit about what it is that we're trying to do with this channel, and what our purpose is, and basically just we used it as feedback for what to do about the upcoming videos and live streams that we'll be having. So we definitely learned a few things, and today I felt like we had a bit of free time around this time, so I thought, why not get the camera and document our walk. So whoever is here or whoever is not, and whoever will see this later, I'll welcome you again to sunny New York, where we are walking along Woodhaven Boulevard. I mean, you guys may know if you're familiar with the geography of New York, or you may not, but basically Woodhaven Boulevard starts and ends in Queens. It's in Queens, and it starts from the neighborhood of maybe I think Ozone Park, or it could even start even more south from there. But it starts from there and it goes all the way up to, as far as I know, to Queens Center Mall, which is all the way up on Elmhurst or Corona, whatever you would like to call that area. I believe it's Corona. But yeah, this boulevard, Woodhaven Boulevard, that we're walking down on, it has this flyover, fly pass, whatever it's called, and it basically connects a bunch of neighborhoods together. And if you walk along Woodhaven Boulevard, you are destined to see a lot of different cultures and ethnicities and people belonging to different backgrounds, all within maybe 20 to 30 minutes of walking. So even if we don't get to see a lot of culture outside right now, we will at the very least get to experience sunny, beautiful New York, which is a rarity nowadays. It seems like you get one day of sunshine and 6 days of rain. So we will enjoy this and not take this weather for granted. And so we're out, and so should you. And if you're not, don't worry, live vicariously through me. So our goal is today to walk to Forest Park. I don't know how much battery we have, but I believe it should be enough for us to at least reach the park, because our goal is to show you the park and experience a sunny day in Forest Park, which is, as the name says, a park that encompasses a forest, or a forest that encompasses a park. And if you walk around Forest Park, you will see a lot of nature. You will see a lot of trees. You will see as whatever you see in a forest, basically. But what I'm trying to say is it's not just a forest. There are parts within the park where there's a kid playground. There's a massive field for people to play soccer, for people to work out and run around. Yeah, and there's also other parts of the park where there's a little, as far as I remember, like a little like a theater part of the park, where there's like there's a bit of a stage and there are seats. There are seats in front of that stage. So whoever wants to do a little play over there can. Little or big play, whatever it is that your play is. I don't mean to describe your play inappropriately, but you can do it over there. Also, the park has a golf course. I've seen it, and I believe it's not the biggest, but it is significantly big. I don't know how many holes it has, but there is a course in Forest Park nonetheless. And so if you want to check that out, you can. What do they have? What else do they have? They also have okay. I think we had a little bit of a blind spot, but I don't want to restart the live stream, so we'll just continue like this, and hopefully you guys get a good view regardless. Yeah, so the park has the theater, the golf course. It definitely has like picnic tables and picnic spots where you can grill and stuff. Definitely it's filled with nature, and yeah, it's like if you enjoy nature and you live within the city, Forest Park is a great place to be for that. And one of the only parks that have the luxury of walking to and in. And well, yesterday we started our stream earlier in the day because we wanted to watch the Knicks play at 7:30. So we did that, and it was a success. It was worth it. We were able to witness the Knicks win. It was a really close game. It was tied up until the last moment, and it was really close the entire time. And DiVincenzo, I believe, hit the winning three. So he performed. So did Josh Hart, and obviously Brunson, who had another 40-point game. It kind of seems normal to him now. Like, you play a game, you're Jalen Brunson, you play a game and you don't score 40. It's uncommon. It's uncommon. So yeah, the Knicks won yesterday. So I slept good. Just joking. My sleep is not dependent on a Knicks win. Neither is it dependent on the winning of any of the teams I follow. Because we spoke about Manchester United, and I shouldn't have even mentioned them because they're not even a team right now. It's just a bunch of babies who are getting hundreds of thousands of dollars per week, and still complaining about life. So forget I said anything about Manchester United. We're gonna hit a bit of the mute on them for now. But Knicks are doing good. So that's what's going to be our focus for a bit. Beautiful weather today. I think it's I believe it's close to the 70s, and it feels pretty much like summer. I was wearing a fleece jacket, or like a very, what do you call it, like a jumper kind of. I had to take that off, and yeah, I was happy about it because I miss the sun. I miss the feeling of sun hitting my skin and, you know, almost burning me. JK. But I love the feeling of sun on my skin, because who wouldn't? It's vitamin D. It makes you feel better. It's essential for your immune system, and it's a primary indicator. The lack of it is a primary indicator or a primary factor of a lot of people's moods and depressed feeling. We kind of touched on it yesterday, where we spoke about countries like England not having a lot of sun. And you know, let's think about a few other examples. We know, like Sweden and the Nordic countries, basically, who are up top, who are near the pole, they rarely get sun. Like their hours of sunlight, it's very rare. It's mostly snowing and cold and just no sun, barely any sun. That's why they cherish the summer so much more. It's usually like, okay, even though it's not true, but people apparently love like New York in the winter, but they only love New York in the winter from the movies. If you decide to come to New York, watching New York in the movies during the winter, where it's all covered with white snow, everywhere is white, it looks like a white castle and palace everywhere, you know, and it makes you look like that's a lie, because that snow will be there for, I don't know, for an hour, 2 hours, and then it will melt, and then it will be, the whole place will be wet and slushy and filled with mud water. So what you see in the movies is basically a picture perfect moment which only lasts for an hour of the initial snowfall. And then, by the way, we were just on what is this? Jamaica Avenue. We were just in Jamaica Avenue. Jamaica Avenue, like Woodhaven Boulevard, is also another avenue that encompasses various neighborhoods at the same time. I believe Jamaica Avenue starts from somewhere near like 200 plus something street, and like in between sandwich near 80, 90th and 100th Avenue. Jamaica Avenue is sandwiched in between that, and it extends from there to all the way, like we were just on Jamaica Avenue and Woodhaven Boulevard, and that neighborhood was it's called Woodhaven. So it continues within Woodhaven, but it goes all the way to past Woodhaven, and even places like fucking, excuse my language, even places past Woodhaven, which is whether it be like close to Crown Heights, but that becomes Brooklyn. Past Woodhaven is like south of Maspeth or something like that. So Jamaica Avenue is like a huge avenue that encompasses also a bunch of neighborhoods. and likewise a bunch of cultures and demographics of people. So we were more south on Woodhaven Boulevard, and we were near like the Richmond Hill, Ozone Park-ish area. And that neighborhood is more, it's more of the Caribbean crowd. It's more of the Guyanese and Trinidadian type of crowd. If you're around Richmond Hill, Ozone Park, specifically Richmond Hill, you'll find a lot of roti shops, which are rotis basically like, if you do not know, it's basically like dough, like bread, basically, just like light fluffy bread, which they use to eat it with other dishes and like condiments, and basically it's like a bread that you use to eat with other things. And roti is not exclusive to Guyana or Trinidad. It actually originates from India, if you guys did not know. And India is not the only place that specializes in roti. There's a bunch of countries where the roti is famous and cherished. One of these countries is Bangladesh, where I'm from, and we have different variations of the roti. So I'm saying all that to say that where we first started, Richmond Hill, was basically an area with demographics of the Guyanese and Trinidadian culture. So you would find a lot of restaurants that pertain to that culture. And at the same time, within that area, a bit of a less demographic or even equal. And then if you come a bit north of Woodhaven Boulevard towards Jamaica Avenue, Woodhaven and Jamaica, that's like the crossroad. That's the perfect area. It's like another, it's a Spanish town. There's people of all sorts of Latina background, the Latin world. Basically, if you guys are familiar with the geography of Queens or New York, you would know that most of the Hispanic population in even like New York in general, but Queens specifically, is near the Jackson Heights Corona area. If you go towards 82nd and Roosevelt Avenue, it's primarily a Spanish influenced neighborhood. And although Jackson Heights, Elmhurst, Corona, it's not exclusively, it also has other cultures. Like there's a huge Southeast Asian culture over there, belonging to the Thai culture, the Filipino culture, the Nepalese, the Tibetan. You'll find even Tibetan restaurants in Jackson Heights. That's how cool Queens is. And that is basically the primary location for the Spanish world in Queens. You go to Jackson Heights, you go to Roosevelt Avenue, and you get a feel of what potentially a Latin country could look like. And obviously there's variations and differences, but you'll definitely get a feel of the Spanish world if you go there. So second to that, in my opinion, maybe it's arguable. Maybe some people will say that there's a huge Spanish diaspora in, like, for example, Spanish Harlem, like East Harlem, where there's a huge but like Harlem in general has like heavy Dominican and Puerto Rican. See more places within Forest Park. I believe we're only minutes away. We have, I believe, just enough to go to the park, explore a little bit. So I think we should be good for that. But this live is not going to be a massive one because we did not have a full to stream it with. So I want to make it as straight as possible. Okay, this is as straight as it's going to be today. All right. Yeah, I think we want to go through Victory Field, which is there. Can we make it? It's 22 seconds left. I think we can. And we are officially in Forest Park. That's Victory Field. People taking advantage of the sun, as they should. But we are going to keep walking along the trail and the park, basically. And we're going to see more of the forest. We're not here for sports. That's another day. But yeah, enjoy Forest Park.
Because she was thinking it's so
Alright, we're good. Alright, let's walk along the trail. Enough of this normal civilization stuff. We're gonna be with the wild. Let's go. And the person